Hello everyone, I hope you're all keeping well and enjoying the nice weather at the moment. I know I am. Now I can't quite believe it, but Easter is a week on Sunday, so next week is Holy Week. I can't quite believe how quickly that's come around. But that's got me thinking about something that I did a few years ago in the church where I was on Good Friday. So I was taking the Good Friday service, so I thought it would be a great idea to carry into church a great big massive cross and to put it right at the front of church, and then at the end of the service to lay it down flat, and then to ask anyone who wanted to pick up a nail and a hammer and to bash the nails into the wood and then to leave. Luckily there was a joiner at church who made us a 7-foot hardwood cross and even bore some holes in it to make it easier to bash the nails into the wood. But the thing is, when you think about it, isn't doing something like this just a little bit weird? I mean, what's the deal with the cross anyway? Why are Christians so bothered about it? I mean, let's be frank, the cross was an instrument of torture. In the Roman Empire, criminals and rebels were crucified not only as a punishment, but also to show people that this is what happens if you cross us. Forgive the pun. Crucifixion is as ghastly as it sounds as well. People were pinned to a cross by nails going through their hands and their feet. It's almost unimaginable to us today. It's so brutal and awful. So why is the cross so central to the church? Why do Christians wear crucifixes around their necks? Why is the cross at the heart of the Christian faith? But the big question, I think, is what has the cross got to do with you or me or the world around us? Because to be honest, it really doesn't seem to mean anything at all. Well, for me, I think the cross first and foremost is about the person who died on it. Jesus was someone who healed a little girl who was on death's door. He told a paralysed man that his sins were forgiven, and then, for good measure, told him to get up, to pick up his mat, and to go home, which he did. He walked on water. Jesus told the wind and the waves to be still. Jesus fed thousands of hungry people with just a few loaves of bread and fishes. Jesus hung out with the religious and irreligious. He spent time with outcasts that no one else would go near. He even raised a man called Lazarus from the dead. This man Jesus was no ordinary man. In what he said and what he did, and just by who he was, he showed that he was God himself on earth in the person of Jesus. And yet this Jesus was condemned by the religious and Roman authorities to death by crucifixion. And the strange thing is, Jesus seemed aware that this was going to happen with him, but he didn't resist it. Why was that? When you or I look at the cross and God in the person of Jesus who died on it, we might think, so what? Who cares? What's that got to do with me or anything else? Then perhaps Jesus on the cross is where we want God to be. He can stay there, out of my life, out of my mind, away from the world as I want it to be. But God in the person of Jesus takes the opposite approach. From the cross, Jesus looks at us and says, I know this is where you want me to be, so that's where I am. Because if that's what it takes to be close to you, then that's the price I'm willing to pay. The death of Jesus on the cross shows us the depths of God's love for us, that even when we reject him, God takes on that rejection so that he might draw close to us. God's love is displayed by Jesus dying on the cross, and this leaves the door open to us. If we choose, we can walk through the door and enter into the love that God extends towards us and into a living relationship with him. Or we can choose not to and to leave Jesus there on the cross. The choice is ours because love is never forced. But one thing is for sure, nothing can close this door, not even putting Jesus to death on the cross.